Hey there, welcome back. So, we've done how to write a PRD. Next thing is how to set up a backlog using JIRA, right? You can see that we're still within the Atlassian space, and now rather than saying Confluence, it says JIRA software. The JIRA software is typically used by projects and product managers to more or less manage issues and tasks following assigned story points to determine the difficulty level of such tasks, right? I will explain each of this in a bit and I will show you how to set this up. Now, this planning system comes by default, so you don't necessarily have to know what to do. You would have all of this in place if you work with a team that uses Jira. As for you as the product manager or the sprint master or scrum master, sorry, managing the backlog and understanding how the backlog works would be something that you might spend your time with, from the product manager to the product owner to the scrum master. All right. Okay. So let's get to it, shall we? So here we have the backlog. With this backlog, we see a couple of tickets or issues as they are already listed. You see, this is called the hook burger. This is supposed to be the title of a sprint. And then you have the general backlog. This is a list of everything that is expected to be done. But as you can see, this is just a dummy and a sample. You see, the sprint is not yet started, and it says start sprints. It tells you the story point or the number of issues that exist, which are three. All right. Okay, so I would explain and start creating them and assign story points, also explaining what story points are. For a Scrum, for a Scrum team using Agile methodology, the story point helps in identifying how basically the velocity of your team, understanding how difficulty works for your team or what is considered to be extremely difficult or easy to achieve, and also the capacity of each member of the team. This is not to in turn determine who is the weakest or the strongest. It's supposed to help understand who should be given a particular task, especially when trying to determine its importance for the overall team. All right. Okay, so let's create a couple of tickets, shall we? So you would hear me use terms like ticket, issue, or task. All right. So here it is. With Jira, it says issue. So let's create the issue. Okay. I would start and then maybe the first ticket, or I will create it in the backlog. Then I would explain how you use it to start a sprint. Okay, so I'll create one in the backlog, and let's say the task is to write the requirement document, right? PRD, right? So that's one task and or one issue. Another issue is to research staging environment. All of this is just me creating random and dummy issues, stuff that we need to do. This is supposed to fall in line with the um, this is supposed to fall in line with the with an epic or user story that I have written before. Remember when we talked about user story in your PRD, right? So that user story, I would be taking the journey or the request to make issues and populate the backlog. What I do in this backlog is to extend the work and break it down in bits because there are simple things and then there are complex things that needs to be done. All right. Another thing could be redesign landing page. All right. Within the redesign landing page, there are several features I would want. So add hero section to the landing page. Now, all of these are just series of tasks or issues that might have come up in us developing our products. So now you see I have all of these issues listed. They are all in to-dos, right? I would explain what this sense mean when it says to do. I'll explain them shortly. Let's get to this one and see how we can start assign a story point quickly. So I would look at add hero section to the landing, all right? And now with this ticket, which is still to do, I have no description. So, which means there is a chance that if I assign this to someone, they might not understand what I mean. So, I would basically write expectations and I would say, as okay, um, one moment there. So, click on the description. Seems I'm having my system lag one moment. So, yes, let's do that again. There it is. There we are, all caught up. All right. So description: as a user, I would prefer to get a hero section that gives me an overview of what the website is about. Right? That could be one. As a user, I would like a slide-in image or slide-in image gallery. Welcome me once I open the website. Right? So I've written the requirements. So this person knows exactly what they need to do. I would save that. All right. So they understand what it is they need to do. The priority level is stated to be medium. I can say this is very important, so I would move it to high. If it is extremely important, I would go. This is the highest. This means this is where all the energy should go. So even if this person has four different tasks that will be moved up, this is the one I probably want the most. You can set a due date following the period based on your roadmap or your timeline sets the entire epic, right? So you can set a due date. Um, I would then have to assign who gets the ticket, right? Now, the process of assigning who gets a ticket is something that happens during a sprint plan. So during the sprint plans are one of the events that happen um, to start a sprint or before a sprint is started. What the planning process does is it allows the team to understand who get what is supposed to happen during the sprint, how it is expected to happen, if anyone would require more details about their work, or if there is a chance that there would be something else that would be needed to achieve um, a request. Say, for example, we want images, right? This person would obviously need someone to provide those images, and then they would need to know what those images should be, right? During the sprint plan, those conversations will be discussed. If you've listened to some of the videos before now, you see I explained that as product managers, we communicate a lot, and we have several meetings to ensure that we are getting all the information that we need as they impact us delivering on the product. All right, so I'm going to assign this to say Dominic, right? And I'm going to determine what sprint this is. Being I still in the backlog is not attached to any sprints. I created the ticket, and that's why I'm the reporter. Note that anyone can create a ticket for anyone within a team. Basically, it's them saying, I need this to be done, not because they are giving commands, but maybe because they need it to get the product going. So it's a collective, collaborative effort. So anyone can assign tickets. It's not like a superior assigned ticket to the junior. It's a collaborative general thing that can happen, and someone might need something that only the superior can provide. They would make a ticket of it. It also allows them to keep track of requests and work rather than just call someone up or send a chat. This allows you to track what you need and if you are getting it when you need it. All right, so knowing that we have all of this in place, one other thing we might want to really add is, because right now, based on the type of tax that this is, you see there's no epic, right? There are no epics attached to this. So you can see it says tax. If this was a bug, I didn't create issue type. If I were to, I could go back to the and show you how to create issue type. Ordinarily, you can add issues, so it could either be a tax, it could be a bug, you know, which a bug simply means something is wrong with a particular system and someone needs to help fix it, right? Something hampering the work from getting done, and that's why it's a bug. So this is a tax, so it's not a bug, right? You would have the option which would be story. So what it means is this is part of a collective body of work. So that's where you have story. So you have different stories, and within the story you could have several tasks, and within the tasks you could have one of them be a bulk. So they're just the issue type, the type of tickets that you've created. Is it a regular task? Is it a bug fix? Is it a story? All right. Okay, so now we have all of this, and we've determined that the priority, this is the highest priority, and this needs to be done. Okay. All right, so let's get out of this one now and close it. We have several other issues here, and I have Dominic assigned to these two tickets, and they're all in the backlog. The next thing I would want to do is determine if these tickets in the backlog should make their way into the sprint. So if I'm going to start the sprint during the grooming is when you create all of this. So what I'm doing now could be more or less a grooming session. It just would require multiple persons, maybe the lead engineer, the product leads, you know, and oftentimes the scrum master managing the grooming process, determining what needs to be created. And when that is done, we start fishing out based on priorities what should make its way into the sprint, right? You see, this is an old board, anyways, but I'm using it as an example. Um, if you don't have this existing, you could have to just click create sprint and you have an empty board. So you could drag your tickets. This is a drag and drop feature. You could just drag your ticket into that space where you need to be done. You drag another ticket, you drag another ticket, and now that you dragged all the tickets you need, all you have to do is start your sprint. All right, it's all you have to do is start your sprint. It says no tickets are in progress, no tickets are done, but there are three tickets that have been created for this sprint. You have one that has the highest priority, you have one that has a medium priority, and one that has a high priority. So obviously, this will come before the medium priority. What you're telling the group is this should come first, this should be next, and then this can follow up as well. All right. And by setting the priority order, each person in the team understands what they need the most. You see, now that I've attached it to a sprint and not the backlog, it then tells me the name of the sprint. This sprint name can be changed. I will show you how shortly. But this just allows us to identify what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we are doing it. Okay, now with all that done, I will close this and I will start the sprints. Clicking start allows me to rename the sprints. You see now I can change this from Hoop Burger Tree to New Sprints or whatever the name of the sprint is. One of the places I've worked at, we would often name sprints after events. Where I currently work at, we name sprints after food, and we started by doing it alphabetically. So you could name it however you want to, create an adventure for your team. So let's say new sprints training, all right? And there we have it. If you don't understand what I mean by sprint, basically this is a period to which you want to deliver a set of tasks, right? And the sprints can run for 2 weeks, and for in some cases, based on the complexity of the project or product being built and how the team runs, they could run the sprint for 4 weeks. Okay, now we'll have to state the goal and list them out quite clearly so it's not vague. The goal of this sprint is to create a hero site, a landing page. Right, that should be one. Another is to create a hero, right? Create a hero. So it has to be very clear what we're trying to achieve, and we see the period that the sprint is supposed to start. We click, all right. So this is obviously a date behind. I should be moving this to somewhere around here, and that would allow me to move this to here. All right, good. Okay, now I can start the sprint. By clicking start, the UCE now moves me to a proper board where I have my new sprint training, all my ticket time to do. I have in progress tab, empty, in review tab, empty, done, empty. Um, Personally, I create more than just four. These are the default fields. I would often create one that says blocked, right? And why I do this is so I know when someone has a challenge, and I would drag this ticket and probably keep here. So what it tells me is if for any reason whosoever is working on a particular ticket, if they do move their ticket and drop it here, even before a stand up, I already know that something is blocking them. They would often leave a comment that I would need this, my machine is bad, my internet is off, or the documentation is not clear enough, or something broke and they would need that fixed first before this ticket can be done. That's why it is blocked. Why I like to keep tickets in review before moving to done means they say they've probably done their bit. I just need to validate it, as the product person to be sure that it works. You have the QA also do review. You can have different group of persons do review, right? But for the product manager, this allows you to manage what is going to the status done, what can be said to be done, right? And once that ticket has been completed, you've tested it, you've reviewed it, or whosoever is QA it has reviewed it, they move it to done. This allows you to manage the process. The beautiful part is this same board can work for a Scrum process or for a Kanban process. I explained that in a different video. So you see, it's quite easy to create your issues or your backlog using Jira, right? All you have to do is follow your story that you've written as to what needs to be done, come to the section that says backlog, and create those issues. The beautiful thing is you can create as many as possible, and every new idea you think you want to implement, just add it to the backlog. It doesn't mean because it's in the backlog it must be done. What it means is you allow yourself the chance to know a list of things you wanted to do. And as you start or prioritize as you walk during the sprint plan, you can determine whether or not certain things should go on to a sprint or should never see the light of day. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.